Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers Blows. Welcome to part 9 of my Craftsman Lt2000 Repower project. For the past 8 episodes, I've been trying to get that Kohler Courage 20 horsepower engine to work on here. The engine does run, but it's got a bad head. And I have another head. The reason why I didn't put that new head on was because the engine is cracked in 3 different places. As an absolute last resort, if I don't get this one going, I'm going to try to JB weld those 3 cracks again. Yes, I'm going to use JB weld instead of that cheap Harbor Freight Tools epoxy I've been using. Maybe I'd have better luck with the JB weld. As long as I stop the leaks, change the head, that engine should work. But I feel like I've invested so much time into it that I really just want to throw it off a bridge. But as you guys know how cheap I am, I'm not throwing away parts for nothing. So yesterday I swapped out that Kohler Courage engine with this Kohler Command. I thought it was going to be an easy fix. Boom, done. Drive off into the wild blue yonder, right? But we've got backfire problems here on this Kohler Command 17, one that I put together from pieces that I got from my friend Nick from West Islip. So I was reading a little bit about the Kohler Commands. While I've had a bunch in my life, right, I've never rebuilt one before because I've never seen a Kohler Command that's blown. So this one backfires. So backfiring could be 3 different things, right? So it could be the valves, but as you know from the Kohler CV version, which is the vertical ones, right, which this is, it has hydraulic lifters in the thing, and there is no valve adjustment. You know, you just tighten the 2 nuts on the valve stem and it sits there. You know, that's just the way it is. If it's a very old engine, right, the valves could have expanded with time, you know, and you require grinding the valves, which, I mean, I have had some unorthodox methods that I've used that have worked, but it's a hit or miss, you know, and a lot of work. Another issue could be the carburetor. It could not be misting properly in there, but I really don't think that's it because I've sprayed fluid through there and it still backfires, you know what I mean? But the easy way to do it is for me to just swap out the carburetor and see, right? The third thing, which is kind of not likely, you know, is the magneto, the ignition coil, could be giving off the spark at improper times. While we did check spark on this, and it has very, very good spark, right? It's almost too good to be true that it has such good spark. So possibly there could be a faulty circuit in this that's giving off either too much spark or advanced spark, is what I was reading. I don't really know too much about it. But we'll swap out the carb. If that doesn't work, we'll swap out the magneto. And then if that doesn't work, I'll have to probably wait for your comments. And being that I'm a week in advance, I'll have quite a little bit of a vacation. It's funny because my friend Bill Martini, who also follows my gun channel, and by the way, you guys, I'm at 946 subscribers for my mowers, blowers, and guns channel. I could really use your help. Just go and subscribe to that one so I get over 1,000 so I can start getting monetized for that channel. Do me a favor. Mowers, blowers, and guns. Search it on YouTube. Also follow the Instagram, Mowers, Blowers, Guns. There's a link in the, that bio for where my Mowers, Blowers, and Guns channel is. But we charged this up last night completely. I'm gonna turn on the fuel, and we have a full battery, so maybe it'll crank better. I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a crank and see if it starts. Okay, here we go. Choke. There's fuel. I'm gonna crank. I'm gonna. Actually, I'm gonna stand back here. Yeah, it just won't do it. So I'm gonna do some sprayage. Sprayage. Choke off so it goes through the flap. That's quite a bit. Choke it again. It's definitely getting fuel through there, at least vapors. So, the spark is igniting some of the fuel, but at the wrong times, you know? Well, I know I have a couple of Kohler Courage Command carburetors in my big area full of carburetors. I got this box from my friend Nick from Medford. He gave me a whole bunch of carburetors. Maybe I'll find a better one out of this. This is a Nicky, I believe. No, it's a Walbro off of a Briggs. This is a Chinese copy. You can just tell by the intake manifold these are off Briggs engines. This is off a super old one, old Briggs engine. Briggs engine, Nicky. Briggs engine, Walbro. Briggs engine, Nicky. Original. I wish these things fit on the Kohlers, you know. Another Briggs, Walbro. Yep, they're all Walbros and Nickies, and they're all for Briggs. You can just tell by the intake manifold. So I don't have a Kohler carburetor in this box. I'll have to go dig out the 2 or 3 that I might have that are either new or I used a part off a new one. Oh, so getting back to that story, Bill saw my gun video, which is the most recent. I just did it yesterday, you know what I mean? And he saw that this engine was already on this tractor, and he's like, oh, I guess the Kohler Courage didn't work out for you, huh? So he got a sneak peek at what was going on. So it's 2 10mm nuts that hold the air filter base on, which again, by the way, I don't have a filter or a cover for this. So if you guys have one lying around that you want to donate to the channel, let me know in the comments. Get my email, or you can find my email in my description, and you can send it to me. Donate it to the channel, contribute. I appreciate all donations, and what was that sound? Just take the bowl nut out. I know I'm gonna have to like build another carburetor just to make sure, but we'll check this out. As you can see, it's clean. Needle, pin, I mean, bowl. Needle, so it's the kind that doesn't have a rubber tip, which means that there's a seat in here, rubber. Looks okay to me, but you know what? I'm gonna have to just try another. That's why we're having a leak, because this gasket is super thin now, kind of worn out, you know. You have it on here and it's like super loose. See that? That's the reason why we have a leak. So maybe it's not the needle. It might be the needle also, but I think it's like the gasket problem too. So I'm gonna take two carburetors that I have here. Make one good one. So I found a Kohler carb. You can tell by the mouth, the intake mouth, right? So it's shaped. Has a good throttle plate with spring. The other ones didn't. Or choke, I mean. Good throttle plate also. And it's made by Nikki. I don't think I've ever seen a Nikki one for a Kohler before. It's kind of interesting. So I took this apart. This has the fuel solenoid in it because I don't have the fuel solenoid power up, whatever, and I don't like it. Cut the tip, grinded it, so now it's smooth. And this is a clean carburetor, and I blew it out too. So we're gonna try this one, and hopefully this will work. Oops. And we'll just give this a whirl, see what happens. Maybe this one won't leak, at least, you know, because it has a decent gasket. Okay, I just installed the carburetor. I turned the fuel on, and so far it's not leaking. Let's give her a crank or two, see what happens. That's not the problem. Next, magneto. Swap it out.
That doesn't work!
This one has the voltage regulator connected to it, so we'll just let it hang like that. And there it is right there. And it's gapped correctly. Let's see. I dug this one out. This is also a Kohler. You can tell by the numbers, starts with a 20, KK 20. And I tested this with an ohm meter. It's 10.8, that and that. So I'll just loosen this. It's 5/16. Shouldn't use an impact like me, because at least to tighten them, because you could really screw it up. Don't breathe, don't breathe. Don't breathe that stuff in, it'll cause cancer. Like everything else. Doesn't everything else cause cancer? Crazy. This is the magneto kill wire. I know somebody was asking me about it who is not very familiar with small engines. Asks me where the magneto kill wire is. You just have to find the magneto, man, and you'll find the kill. Air gap it. Put the magnet right in the middle of the two posts there. Hey, look at that. Terrell. My favorite character, Slippers. Oh no! As you can tell, this magneto is a little bit bigger than this one, even though it is a Kohler, right? And the holes don't match up. So I'm gonna have to go find another one. Darn. So I'm shit out of luck. I just went and looked through my bucket of like 30 magnetos. Found like 5 other Kohlers, but they're all the bigger ones, like for Courage. So I just tested this one on my ohm meter and it shows 18, which is very, very high. I don't know if that's good or not, but it would prove why the spark is so strong. You know what I mean? So I have no choice but to try this or use this now, you know? I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Seems like a timing issue to me. But like I said, I put this engine together and I'm positive. And I went over and looked at my old video. And I put the keyway in there as I normally do. Matched up the timing marks. There's really no reason why this shouldn't run. It's the same reason why Nick gave me this engine in the first place. He encountered the exact same thing. The backfiring, you know, and the timing not being correct. But this carburetor seems to be good because it's not leaking, you know. Let's just make sure that it's getting fuel. So it's definitely getting the fuel. It's the spark is igniting it there, but it's just at the wrong timing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Should I remove the valve cover and look at the valves? It's the only thing left to do. I remember when I put this valve cover on after I built this engine. I checked out the valve clearances. See, it won't even come off. Silicone down there, RTV. Oh, man. I did such a good job, it won't come off. There's a lot of Earl that came out. Is this something to tell me, guys? See that? Lots of smoke and vapors coming out. And that's what you saw when I was cranking it. A lot of smoke and vapors came out of this side here. I think I should take that off just to see. You can't adjust them, it's just, you just put them on, you know? It's not bent. Looks good. I don't know. I just don't know. It's moving. Albeit slightly, but it's moving. Well, I took both rods out and they're not bent. I just wanted to check and see if they're bent to see if it all moves properly. Short of this, I have a Briggs V-twin, but it has one side. When I got it from Nick from Bellport, the left cylinder had a bent push rod, so we put a new push rod in there and put it back together. But I don't think that fixes the cause of why the push rod was, you know, bent. The plastics are a little melted from a fire or something like that. But I mean, that is the only other engine that I have. The Kohler Courage, this Kohler Command, and that Briggs V-twin. Guess if this all fails, I could do that. But I don't want to. You know what I mean? I want to try to figure this out. I don't want to have two engines. Well, that Kohler engine we know what's wrong with, but this one here, I don't know, and I want to kind of try to figure it out, you know, but that's just the nature of how I feel, is that, you know, I want to know why, you know. I don't want to, just because it doesn't work, I won't use it. I want to figure out why I can't use it, you know. Short of taking everything apart and throwing it away, which I don't really want to do. But I actually have this muffler, I believe is for a Kohler Command, because the exhaust port is on the bottom. So I'm going to try to install this muffler. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it. I doubt it, but I have it. I'm going to try it. The hell? Looks like it's not tightening. Alright, we got a muffler on here now. How about that, huh? Now, what good is it if it doesn't work, right? And that's right. But you know what? I'm just gonna let this sit here for a while, and until I try to figure out why this engine doesn't work. So there you go. This LT2000 is probably the most troublesome tractor I've tried to rebuild. While the tractor just requires a working engine, this Command has got me scratching my head. So I completely understand now why Nick from West Islip gave me the engine, because he couldn't get it to work either. So he just took it apart, which is probably what I would have done too. But we swapped out a carburetor, magneto, we checked it, it's fine. Check the valves, check the push rods, the rocker arms. I know when I put this together, the keyway is good, timing marks are right on. It does have compression, there's nothing blown to it. Starter seems to start up just fine. It just won't fire. It will, but you'll see explosions in there, and it's just off timing. It does kind of move pretty freely, which tells me something about the compression too. And I'm not even going to check the compression, because that compression tester I have, just so inaccurate. You just never know, you know. I've had perfectly running engines and it shows like 20 psi, you know. It's not accurate. So I'm going to wait a week until you guys can see this video and then comment on what you think it is. In the meantime, I'm going to work on a couple of push mowers that I have on the side. That'll be the next few episodes, and hopefully we'll get this going. If this doesn't work, I'm going to go put that V-twin on here. I don't care how long it takes. I got to get this tractor running and out of my garage. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's failure episode. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare!
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as, if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.